Burn here. I'm Pete the Vet, and I'm sorry I was cut off earlier, some technical issues with sound. Here we are again. So I've just finished doing the radio section on the Pat Kenny Show with Jonathan today, and I'm now going to answer some of your questions online in a short video here. So first, some that came in on air, but as well as that, if you've got any questions about your pets, put them in the comment section below and I'll get to them in due course. So first of all, a couple of comments on this topic today, which is about dog legislation and about the fact that there's no enforcement of dog license laws, and somebody agreeing with me, saying the fact is that there's no enforcement, and they basically telling me all their stories about how there is no, basically people just don't have to get dog licenses, and that's something that has to change. Somebody else made the point that a lifetime dog license can be bought for €120. That's true. So that's, you can either pay €20 a year or €120 for the whole life of a dog. So if you've got a young dog, there's a bit of a gamble there. Will your dog live longer than 6 years? The chances are they will. So that's another option for you. If your dog dies when it's young, you don't get a refund. That's the downside. Somebody else says here, we have a feral abandoned kitten in our shed, trying to get used to us and tame us. Any advice? Well, don't give up. I think kittens, even though they're feral, they can be tamed if you get there young enough, and it is just a case of spending lots of time with them. They learn to trust you. Being close to them when they're feeding is the easiest way to get them used to you. So choosing a really tasty food that they love and just squatting down on the ground close to them while they're eating, and they'll get used to your presence, and over time then they will become much, much, much tamer. When the kitten gets to around 9 or 10 weeks of age, at that stage you should take it to the vet and they'll check it over thoroughly. They'll treat it for parasites like ear mites and worms, and they'll vaccinate the kitten for you. And they'll also talk to you about other aspects of cat care. So good luck with that. So another question here, do dogs experience guilt or shame? Well, I think a lot of owners would say yes, they do, because they've seen their dog looking guilty when they've come home and there's been a mess of some kind, whether the dog's piddled or whether the dog's chewed something. The dog's in the corner looking guilty, and people say, of course, the dog feels a sense of shame and guilt. Behaviourists would have always said to us, well, actually they don't. Simply what happens is they're looking submissive, because they've learned that if you come home to a mess, you get angry with the dog, and the best way to diffuse someone's anger is to look submissive. So they've learned that looking submissive is the best answer to these situations. I think, in fact, though, people's thoughts are changing on this. Behaviourist thoughts are beginning to change. There's more of a sense that dogs are more like us than we realise, and they have better awareness, better memories. So if they do something that they know they shouldn't have done, if you like, then there would be some sense of guilt that they have, and they do express that in some ways. But it's a bit of a controversial area, and it's very hard to investigate, because you can't ask a dog, do you feel guilty? Well, you can, but they're not going to say anything, are they? They're just going to look at you. So it's quite hard to work out this sort of topic. It's an interesting one. If anybody can think of any interesting experiments that could be done to prove this, that'd be cool.
There's just one question that came in.
Okay.
So Sean wants to know, I'm thinking about buying a pet for my children, the first pet in the house. So what's the best to go for, kittens or puppies?
Kittens or puppies, or what about guinea pigs or rabbits? It's hard to know. It depends on the situation, I think. All can make great pets for children. I think in general, starting from the smaller pets towards the bigger ones like dogs, they're probably the biggest commitment. Cats are a bit less commitment, and guinea pigs a bit less again. Every pet does involve costs, and you should also look into the budget that you have for the pet. It can be surprising how much it costs, for example, to feed a dog every day for a year. It's a good sum of money. Never mind veterinary costs when they fall ill, boarding costs, all of these things. So whatever pet you get, look at the budget. Okay, that's important. Then it comes down to how much time you have as well. So again, if you've got pets like guinea pigs, half an hour a day is plenty of time to look after them. Whereas if you've got a cat, you're going to have to probably spend an hour a day between, spending time with the cat, feeding the cat, grooming, whatever is necessary. A dog, longer again, because dogs need continual human attention. You can't just have a dog and ignore it. You have to spend time with it. And so if you're working all day, you can't have a dog, whereas you arguably could have a cat. So you have to look at your own situation and do a money budget and a time budget. And really, as well as that, it's personal preference. What sort of animal do you like? So there's a few options for you there. Okay, so listen, I'm going to have to cut things short today. I'm afraid I'm under a bit of pressure here. Good to see you all, and talk to you again next week. Thank you.